Right, I am building a trike, and I've started off with a small mountain bike, 20-inch wheels. This one happens to have suspension front forks, which is quite interesting. All the bits that we've got here are the bits that are going to be used. I've also got a bowl containing various other bits and pieces. I started building a tricycle once before, but it had two wheels at the front and one at the back, and it really started to get very complicated. So I bought some plans, I suppose you call them, from Atomic Zombie, which you'll find on the net. That's it there, and you can see it's actually got a straight spine here and then rises up to the rear suspension. I didn't really want to sit that low because I reckon if I get my feet that high, my brain cell will probably rush to my head. So I've altered things slightly, and there we are. That is the post that supports the seat, suspension at the rear here, and quite a nice straight chain line through. But it does mean that the main frame cranks downwards, and this bit here could actually be a bit too long, but we'll see. One of the things about using the fork with the suspension is that they actually mean this distance between the top of the wheel and, well, basically this part is much longer than if it doesn't have suspension, so that could be a problem. At some point I will have to take these forks apart, and what I've found is that there's a plastic plug in the top here. Take that out, and in fact there is a socket screw way on down, and it actually took this to get down to the screw, and that is just something I had in the toolbox, which has a 1/4 inch hexagon on it, but the actual business bit I think is 7/32 of an inch. I couldn't find anything which was metric, which was the equivalent, so there we are. Now from the bike itself, all we will be using is this tube here, which we will cut off and clean up. This here, which is the actual bit the suspension hinges on, obviously that is the coilover unit, and then we'll cut this off, dispose of that, and this will go onto the frame and carry the derailleur. We will take these off because I need to cut those across there and weld them onto another bit. Now I don't actually do any welding. It's not the most difficult skill to acquire, but with my eyesight I have to have the glass very clear, or almost clear, and even then I can't actually hit the spot, but you know, that's my problem. Right, now the front wheel there will have an electric motor unit built into it eventually. You look at this tyre here, it's extremely sad. I don't know whether you can see, possibly not. It's still got all the little hairy bits that come on a brand new tyre, so this bike has hardly ever been used. Most peculiar. There we are, you can really see them there. Sad, because obviously bought for some child and never got round to using it. Now the original idea was that I would use these wheels, which I bought these hubs to fit onto the two wheels at the front, this sort of tadpole trike that I was building, but those hubs actually cost me 45 quid each, and I don't really feel like modifying them because I'm sure I can either reuse or sell them or something. So I spoke to my mate who does my welding. Everybody needs a mate who does welding, and he also does machining. And this is a hub that I bought on eBay. Obviously it was complete at the time, and even had a threaded bit here for the freewheel to go on, which I cut off because I used it for something else. But as soon as I showed it to him, he said, oh yes, he said, that's no trouble, we can just turn up a couple of bits to hold that onto the axle. Well, fine, that'll be good and a lot cheaper. Bearings for the rear axle, that are cheap enough. Comes from the Bearing Boys, who, well, all I can say is I can recommend them because they've supplied a lot of stuff for me in the way of bearings and bits and pieces. So I think that's about it for the moment. I shall get to chopping these bits off, and next we will be getting the frame welded up and take it from there. Okay, I think that will wrap us up for the moment. There we are. It won't look quite like that. That just shows the frame, and we'll see how it works. Okay, thanks very much.